Hello, welcome back to Crazy Effing Mommy, episode 130. I feel like we haven't spoken in over a month because, I was in the Motherland and now I'm back in Manhattan and I can't. First of all, this is an episode all about Italia, okay? Just to get that out of the way. I have a few things to say before. But if you're not interested in hearing about my trip to Italy, or if you're not interested in hearing about recommendations on where to eat and where to shop, i.e. buy jewelry, this episode's not for you. If you want to hear about it, then get a coffee, sit back, let's start talking. Okay, but let me just say one thing before we start. Okay, hold on. I gotta take a sip. Hold on. I cannot travel anywhere if my house is not clean when I leave. Because I cannot go on a vacation and then come home to the shit show. I can't come home to dolls in the middle of the carpet. I can't do it. Okay? And I came home to a clean house, but within seconds, it was like overrun with toys and this, because Paulie the Tooth had the kids, of course, when I was in the Motherland, and so the second I got back, he's like, "Okay, kids are yours now," and it's like, "Yeah, okay, I got it, but like, can I decompress just 1 second?" No, you know what? You don't get to decompress when you're a mother. This is what I'm always telling Chris because he doesn't have children. He's like, "Oh, I'm back from Italy. I'm so busy. I got all this stuff." I'm like, "You got what do you got?" I came back to Italy. The second I got I got the kids. I had to unpack, do laundry, do the food shopping, plan what we were eating for the rest of the week. Annalise had her braces off this week. It's like, it's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Okay? Whatever. Fact of the day. I got a few facts about the Motherland for you. Okay. Italy, fifth most visited country in the world, okay? All of the 3 volcanoes, active volcanoes in Europe, in the Motherland, okay? Pizza, as we know, where was pizza invented? In Naples, Napolitan. First, and by the by, okay, Napolitan doesn't work there, okay? It's Neapolitan. They understand Neapolitan or Napolitana or Napolitano, but you walk into Naples and you're down the street Spacca Napoli and you're like, "Sono Napolitan," people look at you like you're nuts. So thank you, Nani, for that crazy dialect. I don't even know what the dialect is that I think she's speaking half Italian, half English, a little Brooklynese, and maybe a dash of Pig Latin, okay? That's the Italian I'm running around in Italy talking, okay? And throw a little junior high school Spanish in there. Just saying. Anyway. Okay, Italy has the most UNESCO World Heritage sites in the world, and we've been eating pasta since the 4th century BC. Excuse me. God, I'm not even putting milk in the coffee anymore. And, it's like I got the throat situation. Anyway, I talked on an episode ages ago about noodles and pasta and all that kind of stuff, and how I think there must be a little bit of a culinary war between Asia and Italy. Who invented the noodle, the pasta? Because I think Asians say, no, they did. They invented, like maybe it's rice noodles, whatever it is. And the Italians, we come in and we're like 4th century BC. How do you like that? Okay, so which one is it? I don't know. Anyway, before we get into more Italy stuff, let me give you a couple of updates. My book is complete. Yay. Bravo. This has been a labor of love, people. You don't understand. I didn't do a podcast the week. I think I posted a podcast like the Monday of the week I was leaving for Italy. And I was planned to do another one. But I didn't do it because I needed to get the book finished. Like, that was it. Like, the book had to be finished. I wanted it to be done. everything from outside blurbs, inside flap covers, dedication page, the whole thing. And I did it with the editor. We had, I think it was 12 or 13 rounds of manuscripts at the end of everything, drafts. Such a labor of love. I sent a copy of the book, a printed copy of the book, to my manager, Diana. Hi, Diana, if you're listening. Love you, doll. She, Italian, of course, lives in the Rockaways in Queens, of course. Who else am I going to work with? It's like Italians or Jews. Like, that's all. That's like pretty much all I do. Anyway, I sent her a copy 2 months ago, something like this. She was like, "Oh my God, I loved it." It's like a totally different book now. Not the not the title, not the contents of the book. It's just, as the manuscripts, as you keep developing and working, with the editor, it's like more things come, and it's been great. So the book is set to go to print at the end of February. I'm really excited. It should be available sometime towards the end of March. The only thing I'm waiting on is this designer, the cover designer. So he better get his ass in gear. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, that's about it. Moving on so we're 2023 job cuts, pay cuts. The world, all the prices in the whole, everything is going up. Except guess what? Our paychecks. I'm with you. I feel you. I feel your pain. The CEO of Intel, I saw you on CNBC. CEO of Intel took a 25% haircut on his pay. It's like, yeah, and they're like, we're in bad times. Oh, really? I don't think the CEO of Intel was probably doing so bad, pre-haircut and after haircut. I'm pretty sure he still has his properties and his yachts and all the such. But, Google Alphabet cut 12,000 jobs. On the Intel note, they also docked some executive pay. And again, these people, let me note, a lot of them have been paid a lot of money. Some of my friends that work in big tech have said the people that are losing their jobs are some of the sort of fluff positions that maybe they hired during the pandemic. I don't know, disaster recovery offices. I have no idea. I have no idea what these jobs are. But I'm telling you this just because, obviously we have to be grateful for whatever we have, and you always got to be a good shopper. I mean, the gallon of milk last year, the price of the gallon of milk last year, all you get in this year, same price, half gallon. So, I'm shopping for deals. Everybody's shopping for deals. And by the by, I think that there are some businesses out there that are raising their prices, taking advantage of this like faux recession everybody says we're in or whatever. I think there are some businesses that are like, oh, everything's going up, so our prices had to go up. Because some things like breadsticks, okay? Semolina seeded breadsticks at the supermarket were costing me, I don't know, $3.99. They weren't Stella D'Oro. They were some, just some weird brand. And now they're like $5.29. And I went on the company's website and they said that they had to raise the prices on the Oh, really? Oh, I don't. Did the cost of semolina flour go up? Like, did sesame seeds, like, is that? Anyway, okay. Italy. I told you I had a friend. She was like, you got to book a tour. And I said, I'm not booking a tour. I lived there. Thank you. I went back with the tooth a million years ago. I had a 36-page agenda because, I'm me. I had it in a plastic, 5-star folder on a Google Doc. If anybody that's listening is going to Italy, specifically Rome, wants some of my agenda or all of it, I'm happy to send you the document, by the by. So just DM me, stay on top of me, send me an email, ask me for it. I'm totally happy to share it. The home base was Rome, okay? So we flew to Rome and we went to Deruta, which is in Umbria region. So Rome is in Lazio. Deruta is in Umbria. We went to Florence, which is in Tuscany. and then we did a day trip to Naples. I was also supposed to hit a couple other towns on the agenda. Arezzo and what was the other one? Oh, Montepulciano. Because I'm not a huge wine drinker, but I heard there's a linen shop in Montepulciano that is like a gift from God. And, look, you all know I'm 39 years old, but there's nothing more than I love. Jewelry, ceramics, pottery, home goods, linens. We spend a third of our life sleeping. Why the hell shouldn't we have nice linens? I wasn't actually going there to buy bed sheets, though. The store in Montepulciano, which I'm forgetting the name, you just have to look it up, has apparently the most beautiful tablecloths and beautiful everything. And I couldn't wait to get my hands in that store. And I didn't get to go. Tangent, when I was in the south of France years ago, I went to a flea market in Provence, and they were used, but who cares? The most gorgeous hand-embroidered tablecloths and runners that I ever did see. So I have such love for that moment in my life in Provence, sifting through the table with all the French locals on the Côte d'Azur, right? Like they're like I was like a schlepper. Everybody else was fabulous, I have this real like desire to like recreate that moment. And I was gonna do it in this linen store in Montepulciano, and I'm sorry I didn't get to go. And I wish I could give you a shout out right now. If I post this clip of the podcast on my social media, I will make sure to tag you. Anyway, the reason why we didn't get to Arezzo and Montepulciano is because Dolce Vita DeLucci made a slight mistake in the route. So from Rome, we rented a car and we drove to Deruta, home of Italian pottery. And then from there, on that same route, we were going to hit Arezzo, Montepulciano, wind up in Florence, right? Stay a night in Florence, come back to Rome, do like a day of Rome, a Roman day, and then the next day take the train for the day for Naples. Until we got into the car, and Chris is looking at the map, and he's like, Deruta is nowhere near Arezzo and Montepulciano. He's like, are we just on this trip so you could like scavenger hunt for treasures? Because like, I don't know how you didn't look at the map. And I was like, let me tell you something. You better take it from a 10 down to a 1, because last time I checked, I did the agenda. Thank you. And this is the only scuffle I had. Okay, so in Rome, let me tell you where I stayed, and brace yourself. Okay, I want you to, because we're family here, but I stayed at the Waldorf Astoria in Rome. Now, here's the thing. I got the best deal on this hotel. When I tell you the best, I think it was $200 a night. I swear to God. The Rome Cavalieri Waldorf Astoria, look it up. It is not in the center of the city. I don't like staying in the center of the city. I don't want to walk out my hotel and I don't want to be in front of the Pantheon, okay? I don't want to be in front of the Trevi Fountain the second I walk out of the hotel. I don't want to get dressed, okay? Go down to hotel breakfast, because I only stay at hotels where breakfast is included, because otherwise it's a waste of money. Come on, we got economics here, people. Okay, and I do not want to have my breakfast in the hotel, walk out the hotel doors, and then be dealing with people hawking crucifixes at me. That's not how I like to travel, okay? That's not how I do it. So I like to stay a little bit off the beaten path, so after a day of sightseeing and experiencing and living La Dolce Vita DeLucci, that I could come home to a home base and relax. And I love a comfortable bed. So I Rome Cavalieri Waldorf Astoria, totally recommend. They treated us like gold. And again, $200 a night. I got it for, I don't know why. Maybe because this is the off season. Which, by the way, listen, I recommend that. Some people are like, well, I'd rather go to Italy in the summer. I'd rather go to Italy in the spring. Oh, yeah? Well, okay, you could spend 5 times the price then. How about that? Okay, how about that? I could see the same thing in the off season that you're seeing. Get out of here. I can't. I'm not doing it. It was cold, but it was no colder than New York. It was fine. Whatever. Anyway, okay. In Rome, saw all the sights. I mean, again, I did all this already. When I lived there, I lived in Trastevere when I was 19 for college. I did everything. This was like, Chris has never been. So this was like he was seeing it all for the first time. The Trevi Fountain, okay, where you throw the coin in, right? Piazza Navona, Campo de Fiori. These are like piazzas in the middle of Rome, where they have fruit markets and restaurants. And by the way, do yourself a favor when you go, don't ever eat in any of the restaurants in the piazza, in the squares, like in Campo de Fiori or in Piazza Navona, because they're all tourist trap restaurants. The food's not that good. They're going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you'll be much better off wandering around. And I have some restaurants for you, but wandering around and finding a little place. Now, I did sit one day. Campo de Fiori has a fruit market. I think it's every Fridays, or a food market. So of course, I went. I had to check out the local produce. That's what I do. I love to go to supermarkets anywhere I go. So I did the food market, and after that, I sat at a restaurant in Campo de Fiore and I had a cappuccino because, what are you going to charge me? 50 cents, 50-cent euro, whatever the hell it is, more. Because I'm in this tourist place, and you can't F up a cappuccino. It's fine. So that's that. But went to the Colosseum. Interesting, by the way, about the Colosseum. Largest amphitheater in the world. It's 2,000 years old. And again, when I was there visiting the Colosseum, I was 19. So 20 years ago, youth is wasted on the young, right? I'm standing in this thing, the other day, and I'm like, 2,000 years old. That's crazy. And, it's a little fakakta, the Colosseum, but that's because a few earthquakes came through Italy and shook up the joint. What I didn't know about the Colosseum that I found out is that it was used once it was shut down, right? So it shut down. It was used obviously as an amphitheater, and it was medieval sport, animals, killing animals. I mean, horror, barbarian stuff, people killing people. I can't. And then it was then used as a stable. Then a family took it over as their home because, that's normal. It's not let's go move into the house in the cul-de-sac. It's pack your shit, let's go to the Colosseum, we're moving in. Weird. But anyway, after that, it kind of, for some centuries, it stayed vacant and it was abandoned. And when there was these earthquakes and whatever, other spots around Rome used the Colosseum as a quarry. And I don't know if it's marble or travertine or a combination of both, but they actually used the material inside the Colosseum and from the Colosseum to build St. Peter's Basilica, which is in Vatican City. That's the big church. Excuse me. We went to Vatican City. We went to the Vatican Museum. Totally worth it. You have to go. The frescoes, the map room, the art. I mean, it's ridiculous. We went to St. Peter's Basilica. Amazing. 20 years ago, I went to a mass that the Pope did for college students. So that was nice. But if you are in Italy or planning to go, every Sunday at 12 o'clock, the Pope goes from a window in St. Peter's Square, which is, right outside St. Peter's Basilica, right in the Vatican, every Sunday at 12 o'clock, and he speaks to the crowd. So you can get your own Pope experience, One more thing, though, about the Colosseum is when the Colosseum needed restoration, shout out to Italian luxury shoe brand Tod's. One of my favorites, Todd's with their leather driving moccasins. First of all, let me tell you something. I have about 6,000 pairs of Todd loafers because when I was working, you know, in the corporate world and all this, you have to dress the part. They make the most comfortable shoes. A little narrow, but very comfortable. Last forever. I have so many pairs, and they're pricey, but, you know, like I felt like I had to dress a little bit masculine. Not that wearing driving moccasins are masculine, but I felt like I had to dress a little masculine when I was working in the corporate world to take seriously. Like, who are you going to give a promotion to? The girl in the 5-inch platforms from Wild Pair, or the girl in the classy Todd's driving moccasins, you know, with a nice cigarette pant? Yeah, I thought so. So anyway, the chairman and CEO of Todd's, I think this was in 2011, they decided to fund the restoration of the Colosseum. And that's like a piece of information that doesn't really get around a lot. And I think that we should give a shout out to Todd's. That's, you know, that's a beautiful brand with not so beautiful prices, to be honest. Beautiful craftsmanship. And look, and they use their money for good. I wonder if that was a tax write-off, to be honest. Like, does that get considered like a donation? But it cost them 25 million euro. So, you know, and they said it was a dream job for them. It wasn't even a question. You know, that was their press statement. It wasn't even a question if they should do it. You know, they said it's restoring such an important, this is the quote, restoring such an important monument, a worldwide symbol of Italy, which carries a strong synergy between the public and private sector, is a motivation we would like followed by others, commencing with large Italian businesses. It's not a dream, it's a reality. We have to do it. We have to do it now. And then later he says it was a dream job. So bravo to Todd's. Good for you. Anyway, Pantheon was great. Pantheon was really great. You know, former Roman temple since 600 AD. Capuchin Crypt. This was something new that I did. So the Capuchin Crypt is the Capuchin friars. There's only, I think, 3,000 of them left in the world. These are the friars that wear the all brown, very, what's the word? Basic, not in the pop culture word sense, minimal, simple garbs, right? Unlike the Vatican, which is all like gold and elaborate and everything. The Capuchin friars, there's a church, right? It's Santa Maria, I don't know, dei Cappuccini or something like this. And they have a crypt in the basement. And there's 3,700 bodies of deceased Capuchin friars there, and all their bones are made into like pieces of art, like, and there's 6 kind of stations that you walk through. Like, I like cemeteries for whatever weird reason. I like cemeteries. I like all that kind of stuff. So like, if you like a little bit of on the macabre like side, visit this. Worth it. Totally worth it. If you aren't into like seeing 3,000-year-old bones, and by the way, it's an active burial site because they still bury people in the ground. If you Google it, you could see all kinds of images, and it's crazy and it's weird. I didn't even show Chris before we were going because I knew he would be like, absolutely not. But the catacombs in Rome, I didn't see this time. I saw 20 years ago. That is worth visiting for sure. So there's like some little recommendations. Let's talk shopping because, you know, that's, I love. Okay, and let's start with food actually. So in Rome, lots of people gave me restaurant recommendations. Lots of, you know, stuff that was right in the middle of the piazzas. And, you know, I did and didn't take them. It depends. Here were my top 3 favorite restaurants in Rome. If you're there, you have to go. Roma Sparita. Okay, this is Roma Sparita in Trastevere. By the way, most of these restaurants are in Trastevere. Trastevere is a neighborhood in Rome that's similar to the West Village. It's where real people lived. It's where I lived when I was there. It's a cool, the beaten path kind of thing. Anyway, Roma Sparita. This is also Anthony Bourdain's favorite restaurant in Rome. It's absolutely delicious, like a very homey kind of decor, like a light blue and cream plaid, curtains and the whole thing. The food was delicious. Okay, was delicious. Second restaurant also in Trastevere, Da Enzo. Da Enzo. I did a video about this, about the waiter that wouldn't give me salt. Let me tell you something. Like you, I've had lots of macaroni in my life. I practically have macaroni running through these veins. They had a special. I was almost like, I'm not going to get this, but it was tagliatelle ragu. Very simple. Chris, he got the alla matriana, which is the pork cheek. I don't like a pork cheek that much. The ragu at Da Enzo was so good. It was like, obviously, homemade pasta. It was rich. It was buttery. Like, I couldn't get enough. I even had to take the bread and mop up, like as if I can't. Oh. By the way, at Roma Sparita, I had the cacio e pepe, because in Rome, typical Roman dishes, cacio e pepe, al matriciana, al carbonara. Not a fan of the last two. Cacio e pepe, in my opinion, is the Italian version of macaroni and cheese. It's just Parmesan cheese and, pepper, but delicious. The other restaurant that I went to, oh my God. This I think might have been my favorite. It's called Siciliainbocca. Siciliainbocca. Translation, the mouth of Sicily. Oh my God. This restaurant was from start to finish, amazing. First of all, the decor was tremendous. You walk in to this restaurant and you feel like you're in the Amalfi Coast. Now, I'm not and not in a corny way. Like you feel, actually, it's Sicilian. You walk in to the restaurant and you feel like you're in Palermo, okay? Or Agrigento. It is gorgeous. It's tiles. It's blues. It's greens. It's yellows. It's oranges. Everything's bright. Everything's convivial. Oh my God. They sold little, pottery and, shits by the door, which, I don't know if you could see. I bought one, one of the heads, the Sicilian heads, the Moorish heads. Anyway, moving on. Everything was delicious. I had a whole fish. I don't even like a whole fish. And I was like, oh, is it filleted? And they basically, they cut it open, and then they breaded it, and they lemoned it, and all this stuff right into the fish. They didn't actually, take the fillet out. It was so good. Everything, I just can't communicate with words how delicious the food was, how beautiful the decorations are, and how fun all the people. We went to this restaurant on a Saturday night. Okay, it was late. It was 9:30 because we took naps and woke up a little late. And we asked the hotel, perk of the world off, please get us into this restaurant, whatever. And they said, fine. And all the Italians were there. Not an American, not a tourist. Everybody was Italian. Everybody was screaming. Everybody was having a great time. That's where I want to be. Da Enzo, which, by the way, you should know doesn't take reservations. But Da Enzo, and get there early because there's a huge line, even for lunch. Da Enzo obviously had tons of Italians too, because that's delicious. They all go there too, the Italian. But that had more tourists because that's on the map. Okay, that's on the map. But Siciliainbocca, I'm probably butchering the name, but it's 5 DeLucci hearts. It's the best. Honestly, it was the best. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to shopping in Rome. Okay, there is a street in Rome called Via Margutta. Margutta. Not margarita, Margutta. I don't know what a Margutta is, okay? But Via Margutta, that's the street. This street is a small little street near the Pantheon. I've never been here before in my life. I discovered it before the trip, and I went and I loved it. There's a couple of boutique luxury hotels on the street which, by the way, I would stay at if I go back and I didn't want to stay at the same place. Like, if I didn't get the same deal at the same place, I would stay here. A lot of art galleries on this street. It's tucked away. It's one of these streets. You know, I love a tucked away street. I love a street off the beaten path. Chris, by the way, thinks this is hilarious. He's like, why do you like streets that are tucked away? Like in New York, I won't eat on 6th Avenue. I won't eat on 7th Avenue South. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. I want to do a side street or a tucked away street. That's how I like to eat. That's where I'm happy. Like Cornelia Street, near 7th Avenue and Bleecker. This is, I think, what's over there. Is Palmer over there? That is a beautiful street to me to go eat on. Tucked away. By the way, on Cornelia Street, you know who used to have a house there? Does he still have it? Orange Crocs. Come on, Orange Crocs, the chef. What the hell is his name? What's your name? Oh my God. You know, the big guy with the ponytail and the Orange Crocs, Food Network. All right, whatever. Anyway, tucked away street. Via Margherita is a tucked away street. Art galleries, right? Little hotels, probably small luxury hotels of the world, which I love. 2 stores that are worth visiting. One is called Serra, Serra. Before I even went to Italy, I already knew this store was going to be a fortune because they kept coming up all over Google, which means that they have money to spend on SEO, or they know how to do good marketing. But I knew the prices were going to be high. They sell ancient Roman coin jewelry. Okay? If you're looking for an ancient Roman coin, like a ring or a necklace, they sell it. If you're looking for also, and it's thousands upon thousands of euros, by the by. This isn't like a $25 euro transaction. If you're looking for like a fake coin, maybe something that's like been stamped with a plastic, like a, like a lacquer, they also sell that. I didn't buy anything in there. But the store on Via Margherita, which I thought was, you have to go to this place, is called the Shop of Marmoraro. I should do a post on it. I have a little bit of a video. Not much talking, though. They basically take marble slabs, rough cut marble slabs, small, like 5x7, and then they very roughly engrave a saying or something in them. If you want like a custom one made, it's going to take a week, just FYI. But I bought one that says La Dolce Vita. I also bought one that said Allora, because, the Italians, that's, when you're in Italy, everything is Allora, like which direct translation is kind of like, so, anyway, okay. It's kind of like a filler word. But Marmoraro is the name of the shop, and it's a tiny little shop run by father and the daughter. They sit on a couch in front of the fireplace having coffee. They don't give a shit about you. Like they literally don't even turn head when you walk in. It's tiny. There's just signs and clutter everywhere. It's a treasure. You gotta go. Anyway, okay, so that's Rome. Went to Deruta. The only thing to do in Deruta is shop for Italian pottery. If you don't like Italian pottery, don't even bother going. If you love it, then you have to put it on your life bucket list. Like places to go before you die, Deruta, put the pin in it, get there. That's all I'm going to say. I liked the place that I did the video on, which was Torretti Ceramica, which is 150-year-old family-owned business, and they have like an outlet, and they have a showroom, then they had another third showroom with even more expensive stuff. And to be honest, like when you buy Deruta, like real Deruta, I'm not talking about home goods Deruta. There's a difference. Home goods Deruta, a lot of times, is when you flip it over and you see, like in Times New Roman, 10-point font, Deruta pottery, like Italy, like some shit, like it's like a stamp. Like that's not real Deruta. That's like someone machine made that, in Chennai and like shipped it over and sent it to Home Goods. And don't get me wrong, I have some stuff like that and it's fine. But this stuff is hand painted, and when you flip it over, it says like made by hand and Deruta, Umbria, and usually it has the factory that it's made at. Now, because it's all hand painted, and the more detailed, the more expensive, the brighter colors, the more expensive. There's a lot of stores there, and you can easily get ripped off. I mean, because you're believing like whatever. First of all, note to self: when shopping in Rome, never pay the sticker price. Like I just say, sconto. Is there a sconto? Is there a sconto? That means is there a discount? Okay, maybe it's what is it? Voglio un sconto? Can I have? I want a discount. That's what. How rude! How rude! You get this Italian American girl right out of Brooklyn, right out of Manhattan, right up in Italy, go to the motherland, and I'm like, voglio un sconto. They're probably like, che cazzo fai? Like, what the fuck are you doing? They're probably like, uscita, exit, okay? That's here, but that's how you do. Everywhere around the world bargains. You know who doesn't bargain? The USA. When I go to Bloomingdale's, by the way, let me say, when I go to Bloomingdale's and I go to the jewelry section, and if I see something, say I see a bracelet for $1,000, and I'm in the Bloomingdale's jewelry section, right here on 59th Street in New York, you know what I say to the sales girl? Okay, now what's the real price? She's like, and they laugh at me. And I say, I shop here, and usually you give me a discount. Like, that's how it works. Like, so I ask for discounts everywhere I go. I don't even care. Sometimes if I'm in a supermarket, I don't know, if I don't like the price of the lemons after they rang them up, I say, can you throw one in for free? What? Why not? Why not? Right? Anyway. Voglio un sconto. So be careful when you go to Deruta, because, there are a lot of places you're going to get a good price, right? Because like you're in the place where they're making them. And there's not a ton of tourists that come through. Most of the places in Deruta work with stores, But if you show up and you are the direct customer, that doesn't happen all the time for them. So I think you got a little wiggle room there, is all I'm going to say. Okay? Now, Florence was amazing. For Florence, for shopping in Florence, we went to the Uffizi Gallery, which you need to see. There's Botticelli's there. I'm almost like blank, like Da Vinci's, like Michelangelo's. Like, by the way, I didn't mention, but you're going to go to the Sistine Chapel when you go to Rome, right? To see the Michelangelo's painting on the ceiling. You are. But, there was the art in Florence at the Uffizi was so overwhelming. And I have been to Florence, but that's not a place that I had gone. So that was amazing. Jewelry shopping in Florence is fabulous. If you like Buccellati, is that even how you pronounce it? Maybe it's Buccellati. Who knows? I say Buccellati. If you like Buccellati, look on their website. It's a fortune. If you like those kind of designs, you'll love Florentine design jewelry. You could buy jewelry in Rome, which I forgot to tell you a place I'm going to tell you. But if you're in Florence, that's really where the craftsmanship comes in. Okay, so the jewelry is not made directly in Florence. There's a couple towns right outside of Florence that have that are like kind of the diamond district, but for gold, for 18 karat gold. And BTW, no 14 karat in Italy, only 18. And if you ask for 14, they don't have 14. Here we pay the price of 14, right? We pay a lot of money for 14 karat gold. There, it's cheaper, and you get 18 karat. So just saying. Never buy jewelry in Florence on the Ponte Vecchio. Okay, the Ponte Vecchio is where people will say, oh, the jewelry stores are amazing. Yeah, those jewelry stores are going to rip you off. Okay, they're going to rip you off. That's where everybody knows to buy jewelry. In Florence, there are two stores in the Piazza Santa Croce. Okay, Oro Due is one. Cellini Gold is another one. Also in the Piazza di Santa Croce is a Florentine, a family-owned store that makes Florentine trays, gold leaf trays. Some decorative. You could throw them on the wall. You could use them as serving trays. I mean, it's gorgeous. Like, I love Florence. Florence is classy. Florence is a classy place. But going back to jewelry in Rome, I want to say Anne Sweeney in Rome is the oldest jewelry shop in Rome, and they sell silver and stuff like that. It's expensive. I didn't buy anything there. Shelley Jewelleria, like, how's that for pronunciation? It's basically Shelley Jewelers, is the place that you would want to go to if you want to buy a chain or something like that. An 18-karat gold chain in Rome. So I forgot to tell you that. So that's that. And last but not least, let me move on to Naples. My family's from Naples. We're from Gragnano. If I didn't tell you, I think like 4 or 5 generations ago, my family started the Di Martino macaroni brand. So Di Martino is, it's still around. It's all over the place. They've been partnering with Dolce & Gabbana. Why'd you sell? Like, why? Why'd you do that? But, like, I would not be podcasting from, like, a casa right now. Just saying, whatever. I'm not complaining. I'm not. Anyway. There's a beautiful part of Naples with, more high-end shops and, restaurants. I only spent a day there. I did not go to that area. You can ask me for it if you want in DM. I spent a lot of my time in the center of Naples. Spacca Napoli is the name of the street. There's a real name of the street, by the way, but what everybody calls it is Spacca Napoli, right? That's the name of the street. And this is where you could find coral horns, jewelry shops, pizza, nativity scenes, like everything, okay? I want to say to you, though, that off Spacca Napoli, off the street, little side street, San Giorgio Armeno, I think. It's Armeno, is the street that makes all of the nativities. So I actually didn't know this. Almost more than any other Neapolitan tradition is the biggest, I should say, more than any other. So the biggest is making nativities. The nativities, obviously, as we know nativities, it's the little, remember the old school nativities that your mother or your grandmother had? It looked like it came out of a fucking barn. It was like wood with straw, and and then the baby Jesus is flipped over, and Christmas morning you flip the Jesus back over, and you got the wise men with the gold and the myrrh. Remember those old school nativities that your mother had? Like, I still have one, right? Actually, the tooth threw it out. And then he felt so bad when he was in Tel Aviv. He brought me an olive wood nativity. Yeah, I remember that tooth. Okay. Anyway, back to this. Those type of nativities, those styles, those barn-looking nativities, they come from Italy. You could still buy them. And here they're very expensive. Of course, unless you get them off season, you get a deal. But they make nativity scenes, of course, the baby Jesus and the whole thing, but they also make nativity scenes. Well, they also make another kind of scene, a miniature scene, and it encapsulates the spirit, the diversity, the fun of the city. Animated, funny, dramatic, Baroque, theater. It's like, the cooking. So you'll find 2 different types of nativities around Naples. Excuse me, particularly on the San Gregorio Armeno. And I wrote it down. The Neapolitan Precipe is specifically the nativity figurines, and the Pastori is the pastoral figurines. So, one is obviously the religious, and one is like the fun. When you are on Spacca Napoli, you are going to see tons of stores that sell heads and legs and grass for a nativity and little baby dolls and all kinds of like the crazy mini breads and mini steaks. It's the weirdest thing. It's like a world of miniatures. But the Neapolitans do this as a hobby. They have at home they'll have I don't want to say nativity. They'll have this pastoral scene, right? One of these things, and every so often they add to it, right? And they make them mechanical, and you got the mommy putting the dough in the oven, and the baby's playing outside, and it's all handmade, and it's so wonderful. It's so wonderful that the Neapolitan nativities that are the big ones there that are on display are protected under UNESCO under their masterpieces of oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Like, that's how special they are. So, and just so you know, if you go there, you could buy like a shitty one, You can also buy a really expensive one, like anything else, right? But a lot of the people, like I said, from there, they collect little pieces every year. They build them over a long period of time. And, in December, around this time, you see a lot of people hunting around for new little pieces for the nativity. It's beautiful. It's fabulous. Okay. Listen. Here's the thing. Naples, the pizza, Di Matteo. I was in a clothing store, right? I was in a clothing store in Spacca, Napoli. And in my broken, whatever I'm speaking, I asked for the best pizza in Italian. And they told me it's either Di Matteo or Da Matteo. And it's like a stand. Like, there's no seats inside. You cannot sit. And they said it's the best pizza. And when I went to Da Matteo, or Di Matteo, everybody's crowded outside. Not a tourist. Everybody was like on their lunch break. Whatever. Great. I also went across the street to try the pizza across the street because I wanted to sit down. Sat down inside a restaurant right across the street. Right across the street. Do you know how much the pizza was? I'm looking dead into the camera if you're watching this. A big pizza. A big, I wouldn't say 18-inch, 16-inch round pie. Round pie of pizza in Naples. €4. €4. Chris got a Fanta. He thinks it's like the Italian Orangina. It probably is. It's actually delicious. You get used to it. That was €3. I mean, like, in what planet? Naples, I thought was great. He's also from Naples. He didn't like the city as much. I was disappointed. He felt like it was very dirty and it was run down. And here's the thing: they did not. It's working class. At least this area, working class. Just Spacca Napoli is the place where the Italians come and do their errands and buy their stuff, and then they go home and the laundry's hung on the thing. But you gotta go. I love Naples. I loved that whole scene. I liked the grittiness of it. I like things that are a little sticky. Also, the people are what makes Naples wonderful. The Neapolitan people, their expressions, they're loud, they're big, they're fun, and it's also very weird. Like, I have not my skin coloring because I'm very pale, but I have Neapolitans usually have dark eyes and dark hair. So, it was so funny, nice for me to be in stores. And this happened to me too when I went to Naples 20 years ago. But I was robbed then, so I was always anxious to go back. But it's a different story, different time. But because it's not so safe, that's why. But it's nice to see people that look like you. That's all I'm going to say. But I will say, my friend Adriana Cento, whose husband is from Italy, like they met in Italy and then they moved back to Staten Island. Like, they moved to Staten Island, of course. And Staten, Italy. She said to me while I was there, we were texting, and she said, before you go to Naples, at least don't wear any jewelry. No jewelry, no fake jewelry, no nothing. Just like totally under the radar. And I didn't wear anything. And she's like, they will, on the little motorino, on the Vespa, just rip the chain off your neck. I mean, I've heard that about Naples. I've been mugged, but I was mugged on a train, so it was a little different, and they stole everything. But if you do go there, just beware, okay? Overall, it was an amazing trip. Where's my ring? That's another story, okay? While I was there, I will also say, I just ate so much. I came back 10 pounds heavier. I don't know where I got the idea of like, let me go on vacation and just eat my way through the country. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to eat my way through the country. But I did manage to do a little bit of TV on a couple of the nights when we got in early. Like crazy to watch this. I watched 3 episodes of Vatican Girl on Netflix. You should check it out. Vatican Girl on Netflix. It's a sad story. But it's worth watching. It takes place in Rome, 1983. It's basically about a 15-year-old girl that lived in the Vatican, because you can only live. There's only like 100 people that live in the Vatican, and the only people that are allowed to live in Vatican City have to work for the Vatican. So she went missing, and it's still a mystery where she is. So I'm not done with the show, but it's worth watching. Product of the day is Acqua di Parma. Acqua di Parma. You know Acqua di Parma. This is a perfume brand. It's a lotion brand. We have it here. It's in all the fancy department stores. In all in the hotel I stayed at in Florence, obviously in Rome, they don't give you some shitty, garbage shampoo and lotion in the bathroom. They gave you Acqua di Parma, which of course Chris then had a problem with it every time the cart went around. I was looting. But I did treat myself in the duty-free store to Acqua di Parma Colonia, which is one of their scents. It's like their signature scent. It's like, it's a little lavendery. It's a little sweet orangey. It's a little sandalwoody. It's a little lemon. I like it. I'm wearing it right now. I smell gorgeous. That's my product of the day. You can buy it anywhere. To me, it felt nicer because obviously I bought it there. And, I know every time I smell it, it's going to bring me back to that trip. So I love that. You got to go to Italy. That's it. You got to go. You got to go. And when you do, tell me all about it. And here is your quote. And it is from Barbara Garuzzi Harrison. She was an American journalist and memoirist, and her quote is, "Italy offers one of the most priceless of one's possessions, one's own soul." That's it today for Crazy Effing Mommy. I'm Elyse DeLucci. I will see you on the stage, hopefully soon. Buy my book when it comes out, whenever it comes out. God, this damn book, this whole thing's driving me crazy. Anyway, that's it for Crazy Effing Mommy episode 130. Love to love you, baby.